I'm Ellen Sandor. I'm the founder and director of Art to the Nth Laboratory, and we came up with the name Art to the Nth Power and Scholograms. Well, what are Scholograms? Photography, holography, sculpture, and computer graphics. They're the daguerreotypes of virtual reality. So one day, your grandchildren will say, oh, the daguerreotypes of virtual reality, 3D backlit photographs that are digital in content, but in the early days, which is very relative, they were analog, and sometimes they were computer generated and analog at the same time. The legend herself, Martil, told me all about Fermi. She created the doomsday clock, and it was a visualization of what we can do to stop the inevitable, which we hope will never happen. So I got to work with her, and it was an absolute joy. I had a show at the Fermi Lab in 1987, and I was so inspired. So when Georgia Schwender started the program, I absolutely applied, and we got it, and it was an absolute joy to work with everybody, the whole team at Fermi. Visualizing the invisible, that's what it was all about. How do you visualize the invisible? Neutrinos, how do you visualize neutrinos? We were absolutely thrilled to do it. And with the staff helping us, giving us the data, we took the data and we made art. It was science and art, and you have beautiful visualizations. One of my favorites was inspired by Vasarely, and yet it has data, and yet what you see is visualizing the invisible. So there's that art history as far as an element and science as far as an element. Here you have one of my husband's favorite images, binary bypass, neutrinos for data communication. Although still off in the not too distant future, scientists believe it is theoretically possible that eventually we will be able to send neutrinos through the entire Earth in a binary code pattern to be deciphered on the other side. David Smith, Vasarely, Jackson Pollock, they were all working during the time that neutrinos were discovered, and especially the Jackson Pollock as far as the visualization, because it looked just like neutrinos interacting. We were able to do a virtual reality piece that Jackson Pollock eat your heart out. We never want to forget vintage. Do you hear me, all you young ones? Vintage matters, and that's the bubble chamber vintage. And we turned it into, again, an abstract visual beauty. When a massive star dies, it becomes a supernova, making the most powerful explosion known to occur in the universe. Neutrinos escape from the exploding stars hours or days before the light does, and these neutrinos can be detected and studied by neutrino experiments. Beauty. You can visualize the invisible and be positive about it. We're not destroying, we're creating.